So I've had this question come up in a couple of recent client meetings, and I thought maybe you're going to ask this question as well. So here's the question. Hey, Dale, how come when I get paid commissions, it's taxed at a much higher rate than the rest of my regular income? First, that is a great question, and I'm glad you asked. Second, it's actually one of the more misunderstood parts of the tax code, especially around income. So let me break it down for you. First, commissions are actually not taxed at a higher rate. However, they may be withheld at a higher rate than the rest of your income when you file your tax return. All of the commission income and all of the regular income gets combined and then it's taxed at the same rate as the percentage. If you happen to fall into a lower tax bracket, you'll end up with a refund based on the extra that was withheld for commissions. Now, what's important to know about that is your employer is required to withhold at a 25% rate. And the reason why is because the IRS has no idea how much money you're going to earn in commissions throughout the year, especially if you're on a commission only basis or a commission heavy basis. They're not sure what tax bracket you're going to fall into. So 25% is kind of in the middle of the total tax range, tends to be a little bit more conservative, and it might help you prevent having a high tax bill when you file. Now, there's a couple things that you also want to keep in mind about the 25%. First is that that rate applies to commissions that are paid monthly, quarterly, or annually. If commissions are paid more frequently, like daily or maybe even weekly, the employer may use a different withholding calculation. Also, that 25% applies to independent contractors, and you're probably going to be paid on a 1099. And if that's you, then you're going to want to make sure that you receive your commissions and set aside enough money that you can save for the eventual taxes that you need to pay on that income. Maybe it's going to be paid in the form of a quarterly estimate. Maybe you're going to pay it all in one shot when you file. Now, question is, how much should you be setting aside? And that's a great question. It's going to depend on several other factors in your tax situation, but maybe a good place to start could be based on the percentage of the actual tax bracket that you fall into. So, as an example, if you fall into the 12% tax bracket, maybe withhold 12% of your commission income. If you fall into the 22 or the 24 and so on, maybe withhold at that percentage of income. It's not going to be perfect because we have a progressive tax system, but it might be a good starting point. And then finally, if you're concerned about the amount of withholding from your payroll or your commissions, you might consider changing how your W 4 is set up and the amount of allowances. But keep in mind that adjustments to your withholdings and your allowances may create an additional tax burden when you file. So, something to be mindful of. Now, as we head into the end of the year, if you have questions about tax planning or anything else that you think would impact your tax situation, I'm happy to help. You can head over to lifemoveswealth.com or send an email to info@lifemoveswealth.com